Assalamu alaikum, brother. I have a question. I recently converted on Friday to Islam, mashallah. After Juma, a brother recently, he told me about the subject of changing your name. He told me, oh, my name is Alexis Gill. I can keep my name, but he mentioned a little bit about the Muslim name. Can you speak a little bit about that or tell me the reasoning or just more about that in general?
Barakallahu feek. Changing the name of someone that newly reverted to the deen of Islam. Some names, if it has a bad meaning to it, then yes, it should be changed. Someone, his name, for example, is Abdu Shams, the slave of the sun, or the slave of the, something like very weird or something that means wrong. The Prophet ﷺ used to change the names also that has a negative meaning, right? In which it gives a negative connotation to it. So if the name has a bad meaning to it, then definitely it's recommended to change it. If it's something that is haram, then a person has to change his name. But if the name does not have any meanings to it, a person can keep his name. And it was never known that the people, when they embrace Islam in masses like this, everybody lined up, everybody has to change their name. There's no such a thing. It's only individuals. Some of them, the Prophet ﷺ would change their names because it means, something negative. So it depends on the name. And on the other side, as a good thing, as an advice, to choose a name, but you don't have to change it in the papers or in the documents where people can easily call you with that name. It's like a nickname basically, but it's not something that is mandatory or obligatory upon you to do that if you become a Muslim. It's up to the person. And sometimes culturally things comes in place, like the Abu something, the father of, among the Muslims or something, they would call a person Abu Fulan, Abu Muhammad, Abu. So a nickname, or this can be under the nickname, but it's not something that a person has to go change his name.
ما شاء الله جزاك الله خير. السلام عليكم شيخنا.
Your name is difficult.
أحسن الله إليكم. My real name, Neil Fernando Castro.
ماشي. You better watch it.
But the Muslim name that I chose is Abdurrahman,
MashaAllah.
which means the slave of the most merciful. So I haven't changed it legally in order to avoid problems with the family. But throughout my 19 years as a Muslim, alhamdulillah, all the Muslims know me as Brother Abdurrahman. Sheikhna, you just reminded me, Barakallahu Fikin, when you were telling him about changing the name, because you reminded me of Ali radiallahu anhu. I think that when Hassan radiallahu anhu was born, the Prophet ﷺ asked him, even before he named him Hassan, the Prophet asked him, what are you going to name him? He said, I am going to name him Badr, which means battle, or the moon also. It's in the Arabic, it's called Badr. So the Prophet ﷺ, I think he disapproved of that, and he told him, call him Hassan.
Right. And even some of the names when the Prophet ﷺ named the woman Jamila and named, other names, because of the name is one of the rights of Al-Hazan to name somebody. He refused. And when he refused that, I won't change the name that my parents gave me, then it becomes something in the lineage. As Sayyid Musayyib said, they always grieve, they always look sad. So the name is one of the rights of a child. He has the right upon the parents to give him a good name. So you don't name him a name that people always make fun of him or make mockery of him. So that's why it's important. The name is an identity of a person. Barakallahu feekum. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. Allah bless you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك.